What's up, family? What is going on? What is going on? Hope everybody is well. Long time no see. Welcome back. For those of y'all who are back, for the newcomers, welcome. Took some time away because I really wanted to revamp and just kind of really get a real direction of, what I was doing with this and, where I wanted it to go and everything. So I think I got a better direction of content. Direction in general in which I want to go with this. So here we are. I'm back. Yes, I'm outside. I try not to date my videos because I want them to be relevant for all times. But it's the last few beautiful days that we have here in Virginia where I'm located. So I decided to come on outside and take advantage and record out here. So without further ado, we can go ahead and dive into the show. Disclaimer always, what we do here, again, I kind of coined the phrase or kind of used the phrase of everyday topics for everyday people about everyday situations. So that's kind of, what I want to do here, especially going forward. Before I was dealing with more concepts, which is nothing wrong, but I think where it gets lost in translation sometimes is between concept and application. So I kind of want to deal with more so concept and application to everyday topics and speak on everyday topics, everyday things, things that maybe I see on, Facebook, somebody's thought process or, something like that. And again, I don't reveal names for the most part on my podcast, and it's not to shame anyone or down any thought process or anything. It's just things that I feel or that I find interesting that I believe other people could benefit, from hearing about or discussing. So that's kind of why I'm here and why I'm doing this and where I want to go with this season, and I guess moving forward in general. All right. So without further ado, the topic of this show is one that's kind of toes the line. I assure you I'm going to be very cautious with what I say on this topic, because every one of us is trying to figure this thing out. Right. We're all trying to learn, and if we're doing what we should be doing, applying what we learn to our life, applying whether it's learned through experiences or gathering knowledge or information, regardless of how it's learned. That's what we all, should be aiming to do realistically. So the topic is, should children come first in all situations? All right. In all situations. Now, I'll start by saying, there's nothing wrong with any parent wanting to give their child a better life than they had, right? I'm gonna first say that there's nothing wrong with that, and that's not exactly what I'm talking about. All right. What I want to kind of dig into is, at what point does that thought process or actions that we as parents are doing come to a detriment to our child, right? Again, prose is beautiful. Every parent should want to be able to afford the next generation a better life, a better opportunity than what they had, even if they had a good life and opportunity, right? That's the goal of life. That's the goal of family. We all should be using each other as stepping stones to propel ourselves within our family, right? That's the goal, right? But again, I do want to discuss a possible con, right? And some may not see it as a con, and that's, totally fine. Again, I'm not here to say who's right or wrong on how you raise your child. That's not what it's about. I'm here just to make you think. Me as a life coach, one thing that we as life coaches do, our goal is to guide you in the right way, but ultimately get you to think, right? Because we can see the steps to take right off bat, but if the individual we're helping never sees or gets their eyes locked on the goal or what's happening, then what are we really doing as coaches or life coaches, even therapists, right? So again, just here to make you think. So, the cons could possibly be the psychological effects that come as a result of us wanting to give our child or putting our child first in all situations, right? Now, again, I agree. Child should come first, right? In a lot of situations, right? A lot of situations. But I do want to talk about how we got here, right? And again, I'm not presenting names. I'm not saying, again, he was wrong in, what he put on Facebook page. But it did come from an African-American male. I don't know if he came from a single parent home. I'm not sure. I haven't done my research on that. But ultimately, he said, in a nutshell, that his kids always eat before he eats, no matter what. And initially, guys was liking it and, sat back. And I was like, I had to think about that, right? That's noble, right? The thought process of your child eating before you, putting, your child before you, right? But then me being also a mentor who deals with younger kids and tries to understand their concept or their thought processes, made me think about my upbringing. And if I always ate first, and the thought process it came back was no, because my mom, she the one that worked hard and provided and made sure that I had food on the table for me to eat, right? So no, I often had to fix her plate, and then I fix my plate. Yeah, as a child, like I often have to fix her plate, and then I fix my plate, so she could eat first. Because yes, I came from a single parent household. But she was the one out busting her tail, doing everything for me that allowed me to even eat in the first place. So it was more so her teaching me a respect thing for her, right? Because without her, I'm nothing. I wasn't working and buying clothes to put on my back. I wasn't working and buying food for me to eat, right? When I needed stuff for sports, I couldn't go get it with my own money. When I needed cleats for football or shoes for basketball or school clothes, whatever, I wasn't working. She was, right? So it was more so her way of teaching me respect for her hard work and dedication that she's putting into being a mother to me, right? But again, it's also, she provided that understanding to me as well, right? So in that same scenario, if you want to, allow your kids to eat first before you, again, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that that's wrong at all. But in doing so, make sure that they have an understanding, one, that it's because of you that they got food in the first place. So they need to be thankful for you. They need to be thankful for your empathy and allowing them to eat before you, the one who did all the hard work and probably cooked the meal to provide for them, right? So it's more so about, and a lot of things that I discuss will go back to understanding, right? Because without understanding, we're just all going through the motions, going through life. And I believe in that understanding is where we learn the most, right? So again, perfectly okay, right? Perfectly okay. But even in other situations, right? Now, let me backtrack. It's totally understandable if, times are hard, right? Limited meal, don't know if you got enough to go around. That's totally different, right? I understand that one. Let me say that one. I understand letting your kid eat first in that situation. Again, never said that was wrong. But again, even in that situation, you can still provide them with understanding, like, hey, you eating because I'm not. I need you to be appreciative of that. I need you to be understanding of that and respect, because it's the psychological effects. So what happens from that? That kid then develops empathy for the person providing for them, right? Again, I see kids every day who have so little respect for authority. I believe if that lesson is taught at home, and again, it's not knocking anybody, so don't take if this is hitting or pulling on some heartstrings, just hear me, right? I'm not down talking you, right? Again, we're all just trying to figure this thing out. So I'm just trying to provide some insight from me being raised, from me raising a child, right? So I believe if that lesson is taught at home, and that development of respect for adults in general is developed more at home. And not saying that this is the only way that you can teach that, right? Can you let your child eat first and still teach them other ways? Why it's important to have respect for authority and all that? Yes. But I'm just using this as an example. Think about that child, right? If everything in life, I come first. No matter what, I come first. What I want, what I think, always comes first, or always matters the most. What's going to happen, or how is that child going to react in a situation where what they want doesn't matter? Well, what do you mean? Well, life. We all go to work every day, right? Does what you want, is that the number one priority of your boss? What you want personally? If they play sports, coach got to think about the team, right? Not just what one person wants in the classroom, where a teacher is trying to maintain 30 different personalities, 20, 15, whatever the number is a collection of personalities that one, if they have an A, two people are trying to control and teach and achieve a goal because they got a job to do as well, right? So what happens and then where the teacher can't give them at the very second? Now, in the perfect world, yes, we want every teacher to be able to give our child the individual attention that they need when they... That's not realistic, all right? But again, how does the child react in that situation? Is the child able to process, okay, it's okay for me to not get what I need right now because I know it's coming? Or is the child used to what I want, when I want, And not even in a nasty way, because any parent that raises their child that way and puts them first, that's coming from love. That's because you love your child. But this is a young, impressionable man. If that mind is not molded along with those actions, then it can kind of produce some tough characteristics that will later be less beneficial to the individual that possesses those characteristics. All right. So in summary, right, love on your children. Do all you can to give them a better life than you ever had, right? But just keep in mind, make sure you're providing understanding for them, reasoning as to why they are able to, in this scenario I've discussed, eat first. It's because of you, right? That helps to mold the psychological or the viewpoint of that child. Because again, like I said, if that child is never forced to show respect because they always come first, that can have some psychological damages later in life if the total understanding, the total reasoning is not molded into that young, impressionable mind. So, again, big ups to all parents. I salute you. Again, if any of this hit home, don't feel bad, right? Don't beat yourself up, because none of us are perfect. Maybe you just never heard it from this viewpoint. And now that you have, you'll address, you'll do things a little bit different, right? It's not a beat up session. That's not what this is about. It's called It's Time to Heal, right? This is about healing from past thought process and learning to see things a different way. So, as always, we'll love feedback. Feel free to, leave it in comments, email me, hit me up, call me, whatever. Would love to hear feedback to this, something else that, you would love to hear me discuss as well. Hey, hit me up, let me know. Love interaction. All right. So with all that being said, peace. Until the next time, y'all be great. Love.